Joining me now to discuss is Bruce Knecht, a former Wall Street Journal reporter and author of The Proving Ground, the story of the 1998 Sydney to Hobart yacht race that turned deadly. Bruce, are you surprised about this new manslaughter investigation?
No, not entirely, but I don't think that explains everything. I think it's a combination of extraordinary weather, and I think the yacht itself, its design, had some features that sets it apart from most yachts. And yes, the crew probably made some decisions that are potentially maybe decisive, but without that weather, none of this would have happened.
And regarding why this yacht sank, you write in Barron's that the answer almost certainly lies in a combination of extraordinary weather conditions and a trio of design features that set this yacht apart from most sailing yachts. Talk to us a little bit about those specific three design features.
Well, the first and most obvious one is the mast. For a time, it was the tallest mast in the history of sailboats, 246 feet, just extraordinary height, which they lit up like a Christmas tree whenever it entered the harbor. And the mast is not something that adds to stability. When you start rocking, in turbulence or high winds, it acts something like a pendulum. So that's the first one. The second one is the keel. Well, it's on the screen right now. Just at the center of the mast, there is a sort of a lounge, a cockpit, quite large, and it's below the level of the deck. And it's that sunken deck, if it were to be filled with water, as clearly happened in this case, it adjoined basically the living room of the yacht, and the entrance was a double glass door that retracted in and out. So one of the questions I'm sure the investigators are looking at is, was that door open? Because if there was water in this essentially cockpit that would have turned into a swimming pool, it could have entered through that door. But I'm not sure that's quite decisive either, because the door, if there was a lot of pressure or water, probably would have broken. And some of the accounts from people on the boat talked about broken glass. I don't know that that's the case, but certainly one possibility. So the third issue is the keel. Most large sailboats have a keel that's fixed. This one was unusual in that it had a so-called lifting keel. You could change the height of the keel, the depth of the keel, from 13 feet below the water to 32. Profound difference. But the truth is, boats like this sail, they don't sail that much. You would want to have the keel down when you're sailing upwind. When you're motoring, which is what they did the day before they arrived at this harbor in the north of Sicily, we know through navigational records they went in a straight line, which certainly indicates that they were under power. When you're under power, you would never leave the keel down, because all that does is increase the drag, slow the boat down, and you burn more fuel. So it's those three things that, together with this weather, I think that explain what happened here.
And we're seeing some beautiful pictures of the ship. Now, there has, of course, been, as I said, a manslaughter investigation that is opened. So how do you see this playing out, given that you believe it's a combination of maybe human error and weather events?
I think there's going to be a lot of litigation, and I'm sure the crew, and that probably means the captain, because the captain ultimately has the responsibility. Is the keel down? Is it not? There were some people who were on the deck at the time when the boat was knocked down where the mast went flat to the water. That's when the water certainly entered. Should the crew have gotten everybody out of their staterooms, their bedrooms, on deck? Maybe. Should the keel have been fully set down? If it wasn't, well, that's going to be certainly an issue for the inquest. But there's also the design of the boat. Was it a boat that could withstand these conditions? I think most yacht designers would say that a yacht that's knocked down to 90 degrees, essentially flat to the water, should recover. Sailboats do that. I wouldn't say they do it all the time, but they do it, and they recover even going past 90 degrees. This is a boat that couldn't withstand that. So I think the designer of the boat, the manufacturer of the boat, When it comes to litigation, I think there's going to be a whole lot of directions that's going to go in, and it's going to take, this will be played out for a long period of time.
Bruce Knecht, thank you so much for joining us.